Hello, viewer. Welcome to Take on Tech. This is a program that explores technological concepts and issues and allows you to engage with a panel of experts. And so, in today's program, we are going to be talking about child online safety and why we should be concerned about it. In today's program, we would like you to engage on our Twitter handle. And before I introduce my panel, I take you to Jane Wamboi to give us our social media handles. Over to you, Jane.
Thank you, Grace. A warm welcome once again to Take on Tech. My name is Jen Mambui. As always, we are glad to have you on board this evening. Now, as aforementioned, in today's discussion, we're going to be looking at our children's safety when they are on the online platform and the emerging issues that are coming about in this day and time, considering, the uprise that we have seen in social media, the uptake of the internet space that has been happening, not just in Kenya, but the world over. So today we're going to be looking at some of those issues and how we can best protect our children while they are on the online platform. And we'd love to hear from you. What do you think we need to do when it comes to protecting our children? The hashtag to use on Twitter is hashtag TakeOnTech. Our official station handle is at KBC Television. My handle is the Jane Boy and my colleague at Grace Yevaiga. And you can also talk to us via our SMS line. It is on the top left of your screen. 20154 is the number. Do start your messages with the word Channel 1 and please leave a name and location. We'd love to know where you're watching us from. Without much further ado, back to you, Grace, to get started with the discussion.
Thanks a lot, Jane. I would like to introduce my panel of experts today. And from the very far end, we have Lilian Kariuki. Lilian Kariuki is the Executive Director of Watoto Watch, right? Then followed by one of our students and a very active internet user, and that's Omar Hamed.
Yeah.
Karibu to the program.
So much. Thank you so much.
And on my immediate left is Mavice Masitsa, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to the program. Now, Lilian, I think we just go straight to you. Why should we be concerned with child online safety?
Child online safety basically concerns the use of children, the use of internet when it comes to children. And currently we are seeing very high cases of internet use among young people. Those are teenagers, children. And we are also seeing the positive, but also a lot of negative aspects that have come with the internet. And the cases that we are receiving as reports on a daily basis are very high. We are receiving cases as high as 80 cases per day that are being reported to the Child Protection Unit in regards to online safety on our Kenyan airspace and internet space. Yes, so it is a concern, and young people should be educated in regards to using the internet safely for them to be alert on what can go wrong when it comes to the internet.
And who is this who should educate them?
I would talk on in regards to our organization. I work for Watoto Watch Network, where we solely run programs in regards to online safety, child online protection, and we run programs currently in 4 counties where we directly engage with the young people, the students. We engage with the parents, the teachers, to raise awareness on how best to protect the children how best to protect the children when they're using the internet, and also empower the children on how best they can protect themselves in regards to reporting if a matter has happened on the internet, in regards for reaching out for counseling sessions if they're undergoing any sort of issues on the internet. Yeah, but we are currently running online safety programs for all stakeholders that use the internet. Yes.
Okay, Omar,
Yeah.
could you tell us what are some of these things that young people enjoy doing online?
Well, there are a lot of things that we young people enjoy doing. Most of the things that I would mention that most of my friends and me, what we do actually, we love watching videos, we love playing games. We also love to research on various issues, like sometimes we're given homework at school. Sometimes we also research. And we also engage in many fun activities in the internet. Yeah.
In engaging with those fun activities,
Yeah.
watching videos, Are you concerned about what you watch? For example, do you have boundaries of what you can watch and what you cannot watch?
Yeah, I have boundaries because there are some sites that they're not for children under the age of 18, as people know. So there I only do on the things that I can actually access, like maybe games. Most of the games that are only meant for us, they're not for people. They're for young people. And there are also videos that I watch. I only watch some sort of movies. Yeah, I love watching movies.
Mavis,
Yeah.
take it from him. What do you enjoy doing online? Maybe you can give us a girl's perspective.
Okay, online I like as in chatting with my friends, sharing information, watching movies, as as he has said, playing games also. But mostly I love chatting. Yeah,
Okay.
chatting with my friends.
In all those things that you do you have safety concerns? Are you concerned that there are any safety issues online?
Yeah, for example, when you are online, there are some, maybe we can say cyberbullying. So cyberbullying, cyberbullying, and also grooming. So those are the safety concerns that they're affecting us while online.
And maybe any of you can respond to that. What form of cyberbullying do young people experience?
Like, if I can add on to her, like most of the cyberbullying that happens is when, for example, you've posted something like on Facebook, you've posted a photo, you've made your best pose that you've ever made, your best pose, and then all of a sudden someone out of nowhere just comes and says, your picture is looking bad, or it's horrible, or those shoes you're wearing, weren't you having them last year but one? And things like that. So when you're told that, you feel a little bit down. Your self-esteem is taken down. So that's a form of cyberbullying that is actually ongoing right now as you're speaking. Yeah.
Mavis,
Yeah.
has any of your friends experienced that, or do girls experience different forms of cyberbullying?
Yes, mostly that was cyberbullying. Maybe mostly girls, they like a girl has taken a photo, then she posts it, then someone from nowhere, then she says, "You're a slay queen, me too." Then the girl feels like, oh my god. Then I was expecting good comments like, you're smart, but you're a slay queen, me too. That's what makes the girl to feel so down.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me, what's a slay queen witu?
It's just a funny name used by the youth to call when you are trying to look like a slay queen, but you are not fitting that. So you're a slay queen, me too.
So you don't fit?
Yeah, you're not fitting.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you feel offended because you've been called a slay queen
Me too.
witu.
You are trying to be like a slay queen, but you are told that you do not fit.
Okay, tell me, do you only post pictures, or do you share information? Yes, you said you like chatting, but I'm wondering, on social media platforms, do you only share pictures, or you share other stuff?
Well, actually, we also share links. Or like me, I've said I love watching videos. So when I go to somewhere like YouTube, I can share a link on any social media platform, like maybe on Facebook, on WhatsApp. I can share a link with my friend and say, hey, there's this new movie called, it's called Endgame. You can come watch it on YouTube. And then when I send the link, the guy sees the link and says, oh, there's a movie Omar sent, there's a link Omar sent me. He can click to the link and then go and watch the movie on YouTube.
Okay, you've mentioned about games, and we have had controversy about several online games that young people have engaged in, and we heard that some people have committed suicide. Take us through that. Omar?
Well, actually, that's another emerging issue, actually. There are a lot of emerging issues, and that is one of them. I've heard of games that actually killed people, that have actually done a lot of things, but according to me, I think the children should be educated about child online safety. That's why there's this Watoto Watch network, which actually promotes these things. So like, for example, there are games that, I have my own perspective. I only deal with racing games. There's someone who deals with maybe fighting games. And also, in those fighting games, you should have your perspective. You should be maybe, when you're playing the fighting games, you should not be very addicted. You should set a time where you should be playing it. Like, there are a lot of things to do in the internet, not just playing games and watching videos. You can do a lot of things.
Okay. Lilian, we will come to you because Omar has mentioned that Watoto Watch has a role in that education. But before we come to you, I would just like to hear from Mavice. What do you know, when you put a picture and you're called Slay Queen Mwitu, do you think you have a role to protect yourself from being called that the next time you put such a picture?
Okay, for the first time, you don't respond to that because that is you have been offended, so you don't respond first. Then if that guy keeps on doing it, so you report immediately that this person has insisted, and you have the evidence that you are not responding back. So you don't have to respond, just keep quiet. Because if you respond, that's like it's like a game now. Yeah, he offends you, then you answer back. So you are not supposed to answer. You are not supposed to respond.
Yeah, and let me also get it clearly. When you're called, when you are insulted, it's the boys that insult you, or it's both boys and girls?
Mostly girls, by the way, because they feel like they have jealous. Yeah, they are jealous. So they feel like, no, you are not good. Yeah. Mostly girls.
Okay, Lilian, what role does, they talked about children need to be educated, but I'm wondering who should really educate them?
So in addition to what they were saying in regards to cyberbullying, cyberbullying is something that we've heard from all the schools and all the young people that we've trained. And the important thing that we talk to the children about or train them on is how to, once it happens, what do you do next? You know, what are the procedures you're supposed to take? Yeah. Do you block first? What exactly are you supposed to do? And letting them know the laws around it, letting them know the policies around it, like Facebook do not allow any aspects in regards to cyberbullying. And once you report, they act on it. There are also other issues in regards to online safety, where young people themselves are putting themselves in danger in that they are posting inappropriate photos of themselves online. Currently, it's a fact that pedophiles are going to the internet nowadays to actually look for young people and children. Before it used to be, you know, you're told don't walk there, don't walk here, but now it is an easy access to the children. Right now, as per research, there's for every minute the young people on the net, and for every minute we are all on the internet, there are 750,000 pedophiles. They're in the lookout for our children, yeah? And what the trend we are seeing is children and young people are allowing so many people to become their friends. We're hearing children as in primary school, class 7, class 8, having more than 5,000 followers, 4,000 followers, 5,000 followers. Which is it true?
Yeah, it's true. Very
it
true.
is very true. Yeah. And what they don't realize is once you're followed, everyone has an intention behind wanting to follow you.
Yeah.
Tell me, where would you get 5,000 followers? Is it all the students in your school?
No, not actually all the students. But okay, it's like when you post publicly, the comments you get, there is when you start getting friends. But not they are not likely all the students in your school.
What are some of these platforms? Okay, let's not just say the platforms. but you like posting pictures, right?
Yeah.
Young people like posting pictures.
Yeah.
And when you post pictures, you get followers.
Yeah.
I think, Lilian, you have mentioned that figure is very worrying. I don't know what other efforts are there that do parents know this? Because I know most parents have bought phones for their children, and probably there are no parental controls on what should be watched. What other efforts exist? But before you do that, there's something you said about the games that you watch. You only watch racing
racing games.
racing games,
Yeah.
and then there are sites that you know you can't access. How did you know that you should not access those sites?
Well, actually, most of the sites, before you actually tap on any site, they are the what do you call? They are the safety restrictions that you're given. Like there's things that you read, and then they say, like, these games are only for people over the age of 18 years. So if you're under the age of 18 years, you should not actually access the games. But as I have seen these days on many emerging issues like gambling, for example, in gambling, I don't think there are very good safety precautions on, because if you see any gambling site, like maybe any gambling site, they promote the gambling platform very much, and then at the end they mention very quickly this that excessive use of gambling is harmful for I don't know what. It should not be people. It should not for children under the age of 18 years. But I think what they should do, half of the billboard or half of the advertisement should be dealing on saying that this is not for children under the age of 18, because I have friends who actually bet and actually gamble. Yeah.
Just hold that thought there,
Yeah.
because we will come back to that.
Yeah.
Lilian, what efforts are there to create awareness, especially for parents, or to educate these young people on some of the boundaries of online platforms?
Yeah, so as Watoto Watch, we have projects in the communities, in the churches, where parents can reach out to us, and we actually do trainings on the specific things and specific tools and measures that parents can put in their children's computers, or can educate what conversation they should have with their children once they buy those particular gadgets. But we also have an initiative by the government, which is by Communications Authority of Kenya, where there's a campaign called Be the Cop, and they're also distributing booklets in regards to that, on raising awareness and training parents, so giving information to the consumer, to the internet consumers, and through using us as partners to distribute the same information to the parents.
But how about if I wanted that information? I don't know about Watoto Watch, but I know my kids probably are accessing some of those online platforms that they should not be accessing. How else do I get this information?
One, I would talk on in regards to Watoto Watch, because we have a website where it has all the information and resources that parents can log into and learn. But also there's Google. You can Google safety measures as a parent, what you need to know, what are the insecure things that young people can, come across. Yes. So there are other ways you can go about it, through Watoto Watch, or you can also Google.
So you're telling parents that they need to go to search engines and look for this information
Yes.
on how to protect their children
Yes.
from accessing some of these platforms.
Yes, information is out there, so it's just looking for the information, not specifically, even if it's not on our platform on Watoto Watch, which we've already done, and we've collected all the information in regards to what they need to know, broken down simply on our particular website. But they can also just simply Google, what can I do as a parent to ensure my child is safe on the internet?
Yeah.
Be the cop. Tell us more about that. Any of you? Mavice?
About the
Be the cop. There's a
Yeah.
program like that.
Via the Communications Authority,
Okay.
the government.
Maybe they have you heard about the program?
no, not yet.
Okay, so Lilian, that tells you that there's still a lot
Need.
of awareness raising,
Yes.
and that needs to be
championed.
Yes, to be
by the
championed so that this information not only gets to parents but also to the students themselves. Okay, back to emerging issues.
Yeah.
Now, what are some, I think Mavice, you have not spoken.
Okay.
What are some of these emerging issues that have to do with child online safety?
Okay, the most emerging issue is the gambling. Gambling is the emerging issue that is affecting mostly the youth. For gambling, when you come to gambling, that is for the betting apps, sport pesa, many youths are engaging in betting apps, yeah, such things. So those are the emerging issues among the youths. And there's in Kenya, emerging issues, that is, yeah, betting.
Betting.
Yeah.
Now, Omar,
Yeah.
I am told that, well, it's a rumor. You can confirm or you can
Okay.
tell me that, you know, it's the truth.
Yeah.
I am told that young men are betting a lot.
Much. Very much.
That we cannot trust our boys anymore with school fees.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
We, you know, there's a time we would give them school fees to go and pay. Now you fear because as soon as you give them, they head into a cyber cafe to bet.
Yeah.
Take us from there.
Well, actually, that's a really huge emerging issue. Like, for example, I hear there was a case at University of Nairobi where there was a boy who was given 80,000 school fees. Then he went to bet it on a certain game. So he thought he would get double or maybe a lot, but it didn't go well. The boy actually, the money was all eaten up and the boy went to kill himself. So that's a really huge emerging issue.
But tell me, do people just gamble everything, 80,000 at a go?
No.
How does this happen so that you get addicted or, you know, you consistently want to bet?
Yeah, what happens, it's that there are betting sites out there which you can actually bet as low as 10 shillings. As 10 shillings.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you can bet as low as 10 shillings. So maybe a child to access 10 shillings is very easy because children these days, they can even access 200 shillings. So when they get the 10 shillings, they can just go and say, I just saw this betting stuff on TV. Why don't I just try it out? So the child will just start with 10 shillings. He gets 200. Then says, wow, I got 200. What if I try with 50 shillings? He starts with 50, then gets like 1,000. Says, wow, what if I try now with 2,000? Then what? That's what happens. When the child is given school fees, he says, this 2,000 shillings, let me bet it and see if I can get 10K. You see? So the child takes the 2,000 shillings and bets, and then it's all eaten up. Now that's where depression comes in. That's where you start saying why. That's where you start even thinking of killing yourself, and that's really sad. Yeah.
Okay, we are taking a break.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we'll still continue with that idea. You will tell us what platforms these children are using and how parents can actually monitor that and ensure that there's safety of children. You're watching Take on Tech, a program that explores technological issues and allows you to engage with a panel of experts. We just want to see what people are saying on our social media handles. Over to you, Jane. Please let us know what's going on social media.
All right, the hashtag is hashtag Take on the Tech. At KBC Television is the official station handle. At Grace Githaiga and at Jane Wamboy are our individual handles. Let me start with Carrie here, who is saying cooperation between the stakeholders to work towards improving the enforcement of the existing rules is crucial to making the internet safe for our children. We also have Sally here saying, set boundaries and make rules. As parents, we must help our kids set boundaries and live within the rules when on the online platform. We have Malachi here who is saying, online child sexual exploitation is on the rise. We need to be more present in regards to what and who our children get involved with on the internet. Cecilia saying parents can find a lot of information online on how to protect their children while they are using the online platform. Yes, that is what we have received so far. And you know, the fact that children are always online is also another risk factor that we have to deal with in this day and time, especially with social media, which has been termed as a very double-edged sword in regards to it being helpful and on the other hand being harmful. Remember, we're talking about children's safety on the online platform. What more do you feel we need to do to protect our children while they are on these internet streets where we cannot go around parading and monitoring everything that they are doing? Back to you, Grace.
Jean, before we took the break, Omar was just telling us about some of these effects of betting by young people. I don't know if you have a comment, Lilian, on that. Before we come back to Mavice, and you'll tell us what platforms are popular for that, you know, how is it that people can gamble with 10 shillings?
It's actually a fact that young people are betting. We work with children in schools, in the communities, and it was a shock to us to hear, you know, young people in primary school, in high schools, actually taking part in betting, you know, with the online betting apps. And we've asked them reason, you know, behind them wanting to bet. And one of the sad reasons that one of the students told us is, I'm betting for the fact that I want to help my mother pay school fees. That's why she is engaging in betting. So there are a lot of pressures also around us, you know, in the world, and the children are feeling it, and they're feeling that these particular betting platforms, when they bet, they'll get something out of to help their parents, or for this and other reason. Yes.
Okay, we're taking a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the conversation. And even before we take the quick break, I think we need to thank those people who have given us comments online. Kerry, Salim, Malachi, Cecilia, we will be addressing your comments shortly. Thank you so much.
How long have you guys been married?
Miaka 33 na bado. Sasa una upuzi gani? Ana bahati sana niko na baba James. Otherwise ingekuwa mtu mwingine. Ningempiga na nimfukuze hapa. Atajua mimi makwade. Maka, wacha kujienjoy. Wewe ndio mtu wa 9 Maka anauzia hii nyumba.
Mtu wa 9. Mzee atakupanda nipeleke pale kwanza.
Wewe ni broker. Unajua vile pesa hupotea. Mark, I will not take any marital advice from you or any sort of advice for that matter. Ile shida yote inakuja kwa nyumba yako. Wewe mwenyewe umejiletea. Najua unapita wakati mgumu. Lakini kukunywa pombe mbele ya watoto na kutembea na watu kama kina Mark.
You know better, Daddy. This week, Kenyatta University goes head-to-head with Masai Mara University. We are in Mombasa County, and the story is about fighting drug addiction.
Most of the people have not been cooperating. They have been giving us the wrong direction.
If you miss the heroin, you go into what we call withdrawal state. There is so much pain.
Nasikia roho yangu haitaki hata bana.
Mimi nimekuwa nikitumia heroin na nimetumia for the last 19 years.
watching Take on Tech, a program that explores technological issues and allows you to engage with a panel of experts. Today, if you've just joined us, we have Mavice, Omar, and Lilian from Watoto Watch. And they've been talking, and they continue talking to us about child online safety. Now, before we went on break, we were getting more information on issues of gambling. And I think, Mavis, we agreed that you'll tell us what platforms young people are using to gamble.
Okay. Most of the platforms are betting online, they're online. And you may find that these children, they do not only gamble online. They do bet just physically on themselves. For example, in schools, okay, you may find that there are students now, they start telling, oh, this exam, you will not defeat me. Okay, then they say, I will not defeat you, then let us bet. They say, how much? Then if you defeat me in this exam, I'll give you 100 bob, or maybe they start with 50 shillings. Then if you defeat me, I'll give you this. If I defeat you, you'll give me this. So then if that happens, the student who has been defeated gives the money. So they start slowly by slowly. And it is not only in school, also at home. Even these parents, fathers, most fathers, they are in betting. So they bet with their young boys. So you may find that a boy say, Daddy, your team will be defeated. Now, so maybe the father says, okay, if my team gets defeated, I'll give you this, I will buy for you this. So if this gambling starts slowly by slowly, maybe, and it's at home, at school, and it's not only online. For that one, for online, it's mostly used by adults. The one sport pesa and betting, yeah. But gambling is affecting everyone, children and the parents.
Okay, we need to move to a different issue. But before we finish with gambling, what do you have suggestions on how, on either what parents can do to stop their children from gambling, or what efforts you think need to be put in place, even from you young people?
Okay, this for gambling, I think the parents should not do it from home when the children are seeing. So they should do it from outside. When they come in the house, they are just okay, they're quiet. Because if a parent talks anything about gambling, now the child will be curious. What is daddy talking about? So this ones, it should be away from the children, so that it should not affect them. So the parents should do these things away from home and not near the children. And the restrictions that the government should put, at least because when they say that it is restricted for children under the age of 18, so those children under the age of 18, they become curious. Why is it that they are saying it is restricted for the view of children under the age of 18? What is there? So let me pretend that I'm over 18 to see what is happening there. So at least the government should put maybe something automatic. Maybe when you are joining the app, they take your fingerprints, your photo. Yeah, that's right.
Wow. I think one of our Twitter commenters, Salim, talked about the need to set boundaries. And I think those boundaries, that's really what you are alluding to. I would like us to move to what Malachi highlighted on Twitter. And maybe, Lilian, you can take us whether this is something that Watoto Watch has been able to observe, the issue of sexual exploitation on these online platforms.
So when it comes to child online sexual exploitation, parents need to keep in mind two things. Your child can have the phone and be exploited by people via the internet, also not have a phone and still be exploited at the same time. When I mention about being exploited sexually on the internet, one, children themselves, are posting images of themselves, sexual images of themselves online without being pressured, okay? Meaning they are attracting these particular people I'm talking about, you know, pedophiles, because every time you post something on the internet and everyone who, you know, sort of sends you a friend request, they will reach out to you. These pedophiles will reach out to you. So young people should know, and parents should emphasize on this, that anyone who sends you a friend request, they have an intention behind. So when it comes to sexual exploitation, one, the children themselves can't post on the internet, and people, the pedophiles, can't take advantage and groom them, befriend them, gain trust, lure them to actually meet with them in public. We've had cases of children meeting with strangers online and going out and meeting with them in public, okay? But also, as I mentioned, children themselves are putting themselves in these particular situations because they lie about their ages on the internet. They're getting onto platforms that are not, they're not required to be on dating sites at the age of 15 and 16. They meet with these people, they're sexually abused. Secondly, a child can be exploited or abused via the net without having a phone. We've had incidences of children as young as 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, put in front of a screen, in front of a computer where we are having Skype. The particular person has internet, but these children don't have access to a phone, okay? But they're being exploited by that particular person to, to sort of practice or do sexual acts in front of a camera. So they are still being exploited sexually online, but they themselves don't have the phones. So it's two-way. Either they have or they don't have, they can still be exploited via the internet. Yes.
Mavice, have you heard about or have you experienced that you meet someone online and you go out to meet them at 15?
I've heard of that, but I've never experienced. I've just from hearing, but I've never experienced it as myself.
Omar?
Yeah, well, actually, me, I've not experienced it, since I'm very responsible in the internet. Well, yeah. But I've heard from my friends, they actually meet people from the internet and then they go meet with them. Some of them, some of those people who tell them to meet them, they don't even actually show up. Maybe they're just, they can lie that they're maybe 17 years old, and then maybe the girl is like 15 years old. And then when it comes to meeting them, the person doesn't show up because maybe the guy was like 12. Wow. Just lying, yeah.
Okay. Jen, tell us what's happening on social media.
Just from listening to that last comment, you get scared as a parent. But the hashtag is a Take on Tech. We have another tweet here saying, personal safety education starts at home. We need to make use of parental controls and protect your children from any unsafe situation. There are two questions which have just come in. Let me quickly get them. Yes, we have, let me quickly get it. Where is it? As my screen decides to act up. Here we go. Yes, this is by Boniface Witaba saying, the big question is, does the career parent have time to even browse through such information, the history of your child? And another comment by Anne Wamboy saying, parents and guardians have the responsibility to take their children's safety online and make it a priority. However, raising awareness will help children be the cops to monitor what they are consuming online, because they have an individual responsibility to do so. So the whole issue of awareness and parents actually making time to see what their children are doing online. Back to you, Grace.
The issue of parents not having time. Thank you very much, Boniface, for raising that. That career parents do not have time. Is that true? They do not have time to check on what their kids are doing online.
I think what parents need to understand is whatever is going to come to your child will affect you one way or another. Right now, people need to be aware of the law that we have now in regards to internet, which is the Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Act. It has stipulated very clearly issues in regards to cyber harassment, and those crimes are hefty and children can still be liable to those penalties that are put under that act. And the fact that the children are on the internet, if this child is to be put in or to be arrested in regards to, and you're told to pay a penalty of 10 million, or because those crimes are actually very hefty, one way or another you will be affected. So either if you are interested in your child's online life or not, that will force you, and you will be affected if they get in trouble, if they're using the internet negatively. So and I know parents have mentioned about, children are using all these online platforms, we cannot keep up, but if you decide to give that child that phone, I think that is the least you owe them. Just educate them, play your part. Because if any repercussions come to them, you will still bear the responsibility to of their mistakes when they commit them, on the internet. Yes.
Okay, we have 3 minutes to to come to the end of the program. I think I would like to hear from both Mavice and Omar. What is the role of you young people in ensuring safety online? Your own safety online as young people.
Okay, we as young children, what we can do to ensure that we are safe online is that we should limit the posts that we put on internet. We should limit them. Then we should at least, when you are trying to access a certain app, then you are told that it is restricted for children under the age of 18. You should accept. Don't be so curious, because curiosity is killing us, the youth mostly. Curiosity is killing us, and we should kill that curiosity and not allow curiosity to kill us. So we should adhere to those. Then we should, okay, I think that one.
Omar, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, just to add on her. Well, I think that we should limit the amount of information that we are giving out in the internet. We should not give our personal information. You should not you should not say your school. You should not say maybe you should not mention where you live. You should not mention your personal phone number. You should not mention some of the private things that you have. And I think most of the children and the youth out there should be responsible in the internet too, like me. Yeah, they should be very responsible, because the internet is it's like a bug. If it enters you, it stays there.
Okay, I think Omar, you have winded up very well.
Yeah.
You've summarized it very well.
Yeah.
So young people, you need to be responsible online. Limit the information that you share. Information that can lead to you being traced or you being harmed. And most important, you need to be very responsible online. So viewer, we want to thank you for being with us. We were speaking to Mavice, to Omar, and to Lilian on issues of child online safety. We believe you have learned something, but we still need to create more awareness. And to finally, you start with, we conclude. To conclude, we take you to Jane to say goodbye.
Need to have more discussions. In this one sitting, we can't fully exhaust matters concerning our children's safety when they are on the online platform. Well, so in regards to that, we're going to make more time to continue with this discussion. But thank you so much for being with us from the beginning. Be sure to join us again next week right here on KBC Channel 1 for another fantastic edition of Take on Tech. My name is Jin Wambui. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Good evening and good night.